This eerie footage was uploaded to Instagram by the user Ghost Golden Guns back in 2023, but it only started gaining widespread attention recently, going viral across social media. According to the uploader, just days after moving into a new home, strange events began unfolding. At first, it was nothing more than minor odd noises and unsettling vibes, but as time passed, the activity escalated and became impossible to ignore. Curious, yet disturbed by the strange occurrences, he began recording everything he could on his phone.
Yo, what up? Ghost Golden Guns over here, and I'm going live right now because that's why. Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? What the f***? What the f***? Who is out? Oh my god. Oh my goodness, what the f***? Hello? Who is there? Oh my goodness, please stop. What the f***? Please stop. Please stop. This is my house. Leave. Leave. This is my house. You're not allowed here. Leave. Oh my goodness. Hello. Oh my goodness.
In the footage, objects can be seen moving on their own, seemingly without explanation. But what happened next was far more chilling. One night, as strange noises echoed throughout the house again, the man grabbed his phone to investigate. And that's when he captured this.
What the f...
A dark figure can be seen standing silently at the bedroom door, just watching him from the shadows. It lingers there for a moment, motionless, before slowly fading back into the darkness. The man, already unnerved by this sight, tries to carry on as if everything is normal. But what happens next pushes him over the edge. On yet another night, something far more terrifying happens.
What the f...
An apparition-like figure appears at the man's bedroom door. He approaches it cautiously, but before he can get any closer, the figure vanishes, disappearing from sight, as if it was never there at all. Horrified by what he's just witnessed, the man makes the decision to leave and spends the night at a friend's house. So what did he see that night inside his home? Was it a trick of the light? A figment of his imagination? Or was it something far darker? Something paranormal? You decide. As one man's chilling encounter with the paranormal spreads across social media, another story unfolds. This time in an apartment where the line between superstition and reality begins to blur. And that takes us to the apartment of a young man named Sam, who had found a place so cheap it almost seemed too good to be true. Locals warned him that strange things had happened inside. Lights flickering on and off when the place was vacant. The previous tenants had all left in a hurry, not long after moving in. But Sam, skeptical and unbothered by supernatural talk, brushed off the rumors. He moved in, dismissing the warnings as mere superstition. But soon after settling in, things started to get strange. One night, Sam was disturbed by a noise coming from another part of his house. As he walked into the room, he saw it. Lights swinging back and forth on their own, with no apparent cause. The air felt thick, charged with something unseen. Then, objects began to hurl across the room, as if an invisible force was violently lashing out. Sam froze, his heart pounding as the realization hit him. This wasn't just a coincidence. The exact same things his neighbors had warned him about were now happening to him. And whatever presence was in that apartment wasn't about to let him ignore it. Terrified, Sam made a snap decision. He had to leave. The fear was overwhelming. The only way to escape, he believed, was to leave the apartment behind. Move out. Get away from whatever was tormenting him. But here's the question. Is changing addresses really enough to escape? Or will whatever found him in that apartment follow him into his new home, no matter where he goes? While one man's apartment is gripped by unexplainable forces, another group of travelers find themselves stuck in an elevator, trapped by something far more unsettling than a simple malfunction. Juki, whose real name remains unknown, was staying at a hotel with friends somewhere in Spain. Late one night, they took the elevator up to their room, but this elevator seemed to have a mind of its own.
Okay, so it's been doing this for a minute, and there's nothing out there. You need to hit that gym.
1588 kilograms. What's going on?
You wanna
Yeah.
figure it out?
Yeah.
Alright, no, that did something,
No. Dude, Palarona? I don't know. Leona.
What is going on?
Are we too heavy? Is there someone there? What the?
The elevator suddenly stopped on a floor that was pitch black. Floor 16. This floor was under renovation, unlit, and had no guests. Naturally, the group was confused and a little unnerved. When they reported the incident to the front desk, the receptionist casually mentioned that it had happened before. Despite no one being scheduled to stay on floor 16, the elevator had inexplicably taken guests there. No one had an explanation as to why this was happening. Later that night, Juki and their friends decided to take the elevator back down, thinking they'd be safe this time. But what happened next really creeped them out.
Yo, so this elevator is acting mad weird. We started a few floors up, and
Yo. Did we stop? Are we?
To the group's horror, the elevator suddenly shut down mid-ride. Trapped between floors, they could do nothing but wait for help to arrive.
Alright, so the power is out. The backup, yeah, there you go. The backup generator's been coming on and off. We've been having the time of our lives. And yeah, we're like cooking alive.
They waited patiently, knowing someone would come for them. But what they didn't realize, what they couldn't have known at the time, was that they weren't alone in that elevator.
Oh. Oh, he's cooking something.
What are you doing?
Yep. Yep.
I gotta pee.
Oh, you gotta pee.
It's making my bladder. I gotta pee.
You gotta pee.
Feel like a rapper. Circle, go. I gotta pee.
Okay.
I'm holding my bladder.
Yep.
I gotta pee. I don't know what else is going on. I gotta pee. It's making me mad. I'm like so angry. I gotta pee. Angry like Bowser.
Guys, this is probably the worst.
Now, look carefully. Did you see it? In the corner of the elevator, something dark seems to rise just before the lights flicker out completely. What was it? None of the group noticed it at the time, but it was there. And what happened next only deepened the mystery. In the final clip, the elevator jolts back to life, and the group is relieved. But just when they think they're heading to safety, something strange happens.
We're moving.
Fine. Thank you.
Where are we
Oh,
going?
wait. Stop.
No. No.
That's the same one as before.
No.
Instead of reaching the ground floor, the elevator takes them back to floor 16. The same dark, abandoned floor they had just left. So, what is really going on here? A malfunctioning elevator? Or is something else at play? Something that wants new guests? And what about that dark shape in the corner? Something paranormal? You tell me. From haunted elevators to shadowy figures, it seems wherever people go, something unseen follows. But this next story raises the stakes, as a YouTuber unknowingly captures something far more disturbing in the middle of a seemingly innocent moment. When YouTuber KSHIZZEL27 decided to film a cute video of his dogs, he may have unknowingly captured something far more unsettling, a shadow person. The video begins with the dogs playing on his bed, harmless and lighthearted. Then, he sets the camera down and steps out of the room to take the dogs outside. Shortly after leaving, the camera captures something chilling, a strange shadow that quickly crosses the room. The figure moves rapidly and is so faint in color, it's difficult to make out its form. But when you slow down the footage, it's clear. The entity appears human in shape. To make things even more unnerving, just seconds after the shadow passes, a framed picture on the wall begins to shake violently, as though disturbed by a powerful wind. When KSHIZZEL27 returns to his room, he seems completely unaware of what just happened. It wasn't until he reviewed the footage later that he made the terrifying discovery. As one man's footage captures the eerie shape of a shadow person, another chilling figure materializes, this time captured in a photograph that haunts those who see it. And that photo was shared on Facebook by Jocelyn DeVault. She explained, "This picture is about 10 years old. The cousin of my daughter's friend was babysitting this young girl and decided to snap some photos while she danced along to a Disney movie. But in one of those shots, a dark, terrifying figure appeared behind her. This image is completely authentic, and it disturbed everyone who saw it. The photograph clearly shows a shadowy presence looming in the background. Its form is dense, shapeless, and utterly devoid of light. almost as if it were carved from darkness itself. In a follow-up comment, Jocelyn admitted she expected skeptics and agreed that the picture looks almost too unbelievable. Yet she firmly stood by its authenticity, insisting the image is 100% real. Most who saw it agreed that it was profoundly unsettling. Many even expressed concern for the family's safety, with some suggesting they contact a priest. Years later, no one has been able to explain the shadowy figure that appeared in that photo. For those who were there, the memory of it still lingers, and the image remains just as unnerving today as when it was first taken. Photographs often freeze moments in time, but some locations are forever linked to the supernatural, like Waverly Hills Sanatorium, a place where thousands perished, but some believe the dead never truly left. Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky, is often described as one of the most infamous asylums in America. Built in 1910, it was originally intended to house patients suffering from tuberculosis during the height of what was then called the White Plague. At the time, there was no cure, and doctors believed that fresh air and sunlight were the best remedies. Yet Waverly Hills quickly became more than a place of rest. It became an experimental ground where controversial procedures were tested. Some patients endured the removal of ribs, while others had their lungs artificially inflated with crude balloons in a desperate attempt to prolong life. The toll was staggering. Thousands perished within its walls. The death count became so overwhelming that the hospital constructed an underground passage, grimly nicknamed the Death Chute. Through this tunnel, bodies were quietly transported to nearby trains, ensuring other patients would not witness the endless procession of the dead. Some believe that as many as 64,000 people died here. Today, visitors claim the building remains saturated with their presence. Chilling echoes of children's voices drift down its darkened halls. Sudden cold spots appear without explanation, and many leave with the unsettling certainty that unseen eyes are following their every step. This photo was taken by a lone explorer who ventured into the hospital alone. He recalled nothing out of the ordinary during his visit. No strange sounds, no unexpected occurrences. It wasn't until later that evening, while reviewing his photos, that he noticed something disturbing. In one image, a pitch-black figure seemed to blot out part of the frame. It was void of detail, as though it absorbed all light, leaving only a faint outline of a head and body. The figure appeared to be moving away from the camera, but the man swore he was alone during his entire exploration. No one else was there. Could this be the lingering presence of those lost within the hospital's walls? Or is there a darker force at work? What do you think? Some stories of the supernatural are rooted in tragic history, while others come from those who encounter the unexplained in their everyday lives. Bob Gimlin's night shift at a resort led him to uncover something he never expected. He uploaded a chilling clip to YouTube with the title, "My Paranormal Evidence, Some of the Best I've Ever Seen." In the description, he explains that he worked as a night manager at a resort, where one of his duties was to patrol the spa a couple of times during the night. He goes on to claim that the footage you're about to see captures ghost phenomena. On the night of October 22, 2016, Bob set out on his usual late-night patrol of the spa. Earlier that day, he had purchased a new iPhone, eager to try out the phone's upgraded camera. As he walked through the dimly lit spa, Bob snapped pictures randomly, excited to test out his new device. Over the course of his patrol, he took a total of 118 photos. But it wasn't until later, when reviewing the photos, that he noticed something that made his blood run cold. Here's what he captured.
I don't even remember when I noticed the figures in the frames. But I know it wasn't the night I took them. It must have been in the following days. Which brings us to our first apparition. So first I look down this long, creepy hallway. Then I turn to go into one of the service rooms, have a look about for whatever reason. And then I get fixated on this window at the end of the hall. I take 3 photos of the window. and then one at the floor. The baseboard, maybe. And I must have walked away. I'm looking at the window from a distance, but I'm heading back to it. And then here is the first of several in this sequence that seem to depict something else, to the right of the flash. And if you're not convinced, you can see it better on the live capture, and I'll replay it. Again, I didn't even notice the figure in this sequence until I started working on this video. This was not the subject of this video. I haven't even gotten to the good part yet. And it's easy to think at first that this silhouette is just me, but it's not, because I'm holding the phone in front of my face, and you can even make out that there's no arm between where the figure is and the flash. Just to be clear, I'm holding the phone to my face on the left. To prove that the silhouette on the right isn't me, look at this photo from earlier, from a few photos ago. See, no figure. I'm the only silhouette in the picture, with the flash in front of my face. And then about 10 pictures later, in the same spot, I'm not the only figure in frame.
In one of the photos, Bob notices something strange in the reflection of the window. Standing right next to him, in the eerie glow of the spa's lights, is what looks like a dark figure. It's hard to make out clearly, but the outline of a humanoid shape is unmistakable. The figure appears to be standing still, watching him from the other side of the window, just inches away. Bob is convinced that what he caught on camera is paranormal, something beyond any logical explanation. And many YouTube viewers who've seen the clip agree with him, claiming the figure is definitely something supernatural. But what do you think? Did Bob capture legitimate paranormal evidence, as he insists? Or is there a more earthly explanation for what he saw that night? Comment below with your thoughts. Bob's chilling paranormal capture is only the beginning of a strange night for many. Tristan, a man tormented by an unknown force, finds himself caught in a relentless haunting that won't let him escape. For years, Tristan has been plagued by something unknown in his home. No matter what he does, whether it's cleansing the space, calling for help, or trying to ignore it, the strange noises and unsettling activity always return. It was as if something was determined to make its presence known, never allowing him to live in peace. One night, after hearing the usual unsettling noises, Tristan decided to follow the sounds, determined to uncover their source. As he crept through the house, he reached the living room, and what he saw stopped him dead in his tracks. A chair, sitting alone in the center of the room, began to move. It slid across the floor, slowly at first, and then with more force, completely on its own. There was no one near it, no draft, no logical explanation. It simply moved, as if an unseen hand was pushing it. Tristan stood frozen, his heart pounding in his chest, unable to believe his eyes. And just as he was beginning to process what he had just witnessed, 3 heavy knocks rang through the house, each one echoing through the walls with a terrifying finality. The chair finally came to a halt, and the activity ceased as quickly as it had started. The oppressive silence that followed was almost worse than the noise itself. Tristan admits he has reached the point of desperation, searching for any way to rid himself of whatever has been tormenting him. He's tried everything he can think of, but the haunting always returns. No matter how much he wants to believe there's a rational explanation, he knows deep down that something far more sinister is at work. For now, though, the activity continues to torment him, showing no signs of letting up. The question remains, what does this thing want? And how far is it willing to go to make its presence felt? Some hauntings are bound to the living, while others seem to be tied to a place or even a legend. The Greyman, for instance, is said to warn the living of impending danger. But is it a protector or a harbinger of doom? This is allegedly a photo of the shadowy figure known as the Greyman, who haunts the shores of Paul's Island, South Carolina. For decades, residents have reported sightings of this strange, shadowy figure, often appearing just before severe storms and natural disasters. Locals believe he is a harbinger, a premonition of impending danger, coming to warn them of what is to come. Legend has it that the Greyman is the ghost of a young traveler who tragically lost his life many years ago. It is said that he was on his way to meet his fiancée when disaster struck. Caught in the quicksand of the marshland that once surrounded Paul's Island, the young man drowned. Now, his restless shadow is forced to eternally wander the island, searching for the love he lost and the life he never had the chance to live. In 1989, a couple named Jim and Clara Moore became the latest to encounter the Greyman. They claimed to have seen him walking on the beach just a day before Hurricane Hugo hit. They described him as a strange, legless figure standing on the shore. When they called out to him, he vanished from sight. The next day, Hurricane Hugo, a Category 5 storm, made landfall, causing over $7 billion in damage. When the Moores were finally allowed to return to their home, they found their house completely untouched. Yet, their neighbors' homes had been reduced to rubble by the storm's fury. The Moores are convinced that the Greyman's appearance was an omen, one that spared them from the devastation that had obliterated their community. They feel they were blessed by the spirit, saved by a warning that came just in time. What do you think? Is the Greyman truly a guardian spirit, or is he a dark reminder of the island's tragic past? Whether it's a protector or a warning, spirits have a way of making their presence known. And when a house is as haunted as this next one, the spirits may not be content with staying in the shadows. A TikTok account called Our Haunted House has gained significant attention on the platform due to their chilling, seemingly paranormal videos. The content revolves around their house, which they claim is haunted, with numerous clips posted as evidence. In the first video, we see footage from a security camera monitoring the front door. Everything seems normal at first, until the door suddenly opens. While an open door could easily be explained by a gust of wind or the door not being properly shut, what happens next is enough to send a shiver down your spine. As a man approaches the door, it appears to close on its own.
Did somebody open the door? Did somebody open the door?
Naturally, since the video was posted, opinions have been divided. Some viewers suggest the homeowner should protect the house with salt and sage, while others believe the door's strange movement could have been caused by fishing wire or string. But then, the TikToker uploaded another video, one that might prove there's something more sinister at work. Take a look.
Holy shit, there's somebody out there.
Watching it again, when the man peers through the window, there's something unsettling lurking in the shadows. A dark, menacing figure. However, when the man opens the door, the figure vanishes. He searches the area, but finds nothing. It's as though the figure simply disappeared. In a later video, it seems the entity might have moved inside the house. The footage begins with the man setting up a camera, hoping to capture whatever is haunting him on film. Take a look at what he managed to record. The door in the background creaks open slowly, and then, out of nowhere, intense glowing eyes appear. They disappear almost instantly, but the unease only grows when a dark shape rises behind the couch. A few seconds later, the door slams shut with a deafening bang. In another video, the TikToker claims to have caught the voice of the mysterious entity. Take a listen to what he captured. So, is this house truly haunted? With all this video evidence, it's hard not to wonder. Visit Our Haunted House on TikTok and judge for yourself. Sometimes the paranormal isn't just about restless spirits, it can be about unresolved grief. Emery's emotional loss at her father's house brings an unexpected connection to the beyond, leading her to question what's truly haunting her. September 3rd, 2025. Emery had just received the heartbreaking news that her father's dog had passed away. Grieving and wanting to hold on to the memory, she began scrolling through her recent videos of the dog. In one clip, she was lying in bed at her dad's house when the dog suddenly began barking, oddly and insistently, towards something unseen in the room. The barking was directed at a small memorial dedicated to another pet that had passed away earlier. Emery kept filming, unsure of what she was witnessing, when something unexplainable happened. The pages of a nearby book began shifting on their own, turning without any visible cause. Then, as if pushed by an invisible hand, the dog was suddenly shoved sideways across the floor. Emery later explained that whenever she stayed at her father's house, strange, unexplainable events often occurred. But this moment, watching the dog bark at the memorial, the pages turning on their own, and the dog being thrown across the room, left her with an unsettling thought. Shortly after, the dog passed away. Was there something sinister, perhaps connected to the earlier pet's death, that haunted the house? Or was it simply a coincidence? Emery couldn't help but wonder if something otherworldly had been at play that day. Grief and the paranormal often overlap, but some encounters are much more direct. For one woman, being home alone became an unnerving experience when a terrifying face appeared in the shadows of her hallway. This young woman was home alone when she began hearing strange noises coming from another part of her house. At first, she brushed it off, thinking it might just be the wind or the house settling. But as the sounds grew louder, her curiosity quickly turned to nervousness. What could it be? Determined to find out, she grabbed her phone and hesitantly walked down the hallway, her heart pounding in her chest. That's when she saw it. A creepy face, belonging to someone or something, peered out from behind a doorway. For just a moment, it lingered there, watching her, before it suddenly darted out of sight, disappearing as quickly as it had appeared. The video abruptly cuts off, leaving only the unsettling feeling that something was watching her. Now here's the thing. If this really happened, why stop filming? Why not keep recording, especially after capturing something so disturbing? That's why some viewers believe this might have been staged, designed for maximum shock value. But whether it was real or a clever hoax, one thing is certain: it's seriously creepy. But what do you think? Did she unknowingly capture something paranormal, or was this just a well-orchestrated attempt for some quick views? Share your thoughts in the comments below. From disturbing faces in hallways to shadowy figures appearing at the edge of a porch, the supernatural knows no bounds. And when a family on a dark, remote road encounters something both chilling and incomprehensible, the mystery only deepens. This last video comes from an unknown source, recorded by a family traveling down a remote stretch of road late at night. The area was isolated, no houses for miles, just darkness and trees. As they continued on, they decided to take a turn off the main road to look for a gas station. It was then, just a few miles down this desolate road, that they spotted something. But it wasn't the house itself that caught their attention. It was something else. On the front porch of this secluded house, something dark began to appear. At first, it was hard to make out, but as the camera zoomed in, it became clear. A dark, shifting mass morphed into different shapes, moving in an erratic, unnatural way. The family watched in confusion and growing unease as whatever this was contorted and reformed in ways that no living creature could. What was it? A trick of the light? Something they misinterpreted? The more the family watched, the stranger it became. No matter how many times you re-watch the footage, it only gets more bizarre. The movements are impossibly fluid, unnatural in a way that seems almost otherworldly. What exactly were they witnessing on that dark, lonely road? Could this be something paranormal, or is there another explanation? The footage raises more questions than it answers. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.